Hello and welcome to Haunted Montreal's Spooky Story Sessions. I'm your host, Holly Rhiannon, and today I'm going to tell you all about Place Viger. With over 500 documented ghost stories, Montreal is easily the most haunted city in Canada, if not all of North America. Here at Haunted Montreal, we're dedicated to researching these paranormal tales, and our channel brings you new videos in both French and English every second Saturday, except in November. That is one of the 2 months we take off, so this will actually be our last video until December. And yes, I am repping my Halloween costume a little bit here, but I can't wear the wig because, green screen. Today, we examine Place Viger, a multi-use complex that was born out of the once luxurious Viger Hotel and its now defunct adjoining train station. According to one tourist review, the site has a negative vibe and is haunted. But before we get into today's story, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you get notified every time we have a new tale to tell. And hey, if you're already subscribed, a big thank you and welcome back. It's great to see you again. Now, without further ado, let's get spooky. A majestic castle-like structure sits proudly on the northeast corner of the old Montreal district. The beautiful Place Viger was conceived as both a grandiose hotel and railway station serving what was once central Montreal. Constructed in 1898, Place Viger was designed by architect Bruce Price for the Canadian Pacific Railway. Price is famous for designing other haunted hotels, such as the original Banff Springs in Alberta and the Chateau Frontenac in Quebec City. Built with Montreal grey stone and orange brick from Scotland, Place Viger stands out with its Chateau de la Loire style, characterized by its numerous pepperbox corner turrets, pronounced conical roof, and distinguished copper elements. Created to replace Dalhousie Station, which became too small due to an increase in rail traffic, Place Viger was built near what was then the central part of Montreal. Located in proximity to the financial district, City Hall, the port, and the courthouse, the complex housed the railway station in its lower levels and a luxurious hotel on the upper floors. Place Viger also enjoyed an enviable setting beside the beautiful Viger Square, the first public garden in Canadian history. The location allowed both railway travelers and hotel guests to stroll along the bucolic pathways, admiring a multitude of fountains. The trains ran south from Viger Station, and then to the east along the water's edge towards Quebec City and other destinations north of Montreal. However, when Montreal's commercial core began shifting to the northwest in the late 19th century, Place Viger was put at a disadvantage. With the onset of the Great Depression in 1929, it signaled the demise of the hotel, which ultimately closed in 1935. Viger Station was soon shuttered in 1951, and the complex was sold to the city of Montreal. The once sumptuous interiors were gutted and transformed into banal office space, and the building was renamed Edifice Jacques Viger. For over 60 years, the magnificent Place Viger was used as office and storage space by the city of Montreal. To make matters worse, with the construction of the Ville-Marie autoroute in the 1970s, Viger Square and its magnificent Victorian gardens were destroyed. The replacement was a brutalist park that featured mostly concrete. With the desolate new setting and inadequate maintenance, the castle-like building soon took on a forlorn appearance, featuring boarded-up windows. Place Viger was sold in 2005 to a developer who intended to convert the building to apartments and a new hotel. However, the company suffered financial difficulties and finally resold the property in 2012 to real estate developer Gesta along with other partners. In May 2014, the new owners announced a $250 million mixed-use redevelopment plan for the complex, including residential and office space in addition to a new hotel. The city of Montreal also decided to give Viger Square a much-needed makeover to correct the mistakes of the 1970s. And so, the area is coming back to life after decades of neglect. However, despite the new plans to revitalize Place Viger and its environs, there are constant rumors that the building is haunted, with speculation that the ghostly activity is likely related to a string of tragedies in the hotel's history. One report of a paranormal encounter at Place Viger dates back to July 31, 2011. A tourist from Washington, D.C. named Amy, Citizen of the World C, visited and then wrote a review on Yelp. We were on our way to the Latin Quarter via Rue Saint-Denis and passing by Rue Saint-Antoine when the green rooftop and interesting architecture of the exterior of Place Viger caught my eye a block away. We were drawn to it by its aesthetics, but as we drew closer, we noticed all the boarded-up windows and construction permits on the doors. Amy added, "Appearances aside, I felt a very strong negative energy about the place. I immediately knew that it was haunted. I heard children crying for their mothers, and the sadness engulfed me. I felt a tightness in my chest, so I practically ran back across the street." On my way back, I noticed broken glass on the sidewalk near the front of Place Viger. It looked like shattered glass from a car accident. As soon as I was across the street, I felt a whole lot better. However, the broken glass that Amy had spotted was perhaps an omen of what was to come. Indeed, Amy next wrote, "All of a sudden, a car collided into the front of another car as it turned onto the block. No one was hurt, but both cars were dented. The drivers pulled their cars over to the front of Place Viger." Amy concluded her review with a recommendation. "Ever since that experience, I keep thinking about Place Viger, so I did some internet research and learned the history of it. Whether you believe in spirits or not, it's worth a quick walk around the outside." Despite being very disturbed by her paranormal encounters, Amy gave 4 out of 5 stars to Place Viger in her online review. There can be no denying that Place Viger has experienced some horrific events through its short history. Examples include a messy train accident and an unexpected gas explosion that sent about 100 people on a train platform flying into the air. Over 20 of them were left crippled. Going back in time, we address the train accident, which happened in the evening of June 15, 1913. A rail car loaded with 80,000 gallons of coal tar broke away from a train in the Mile End rail yards. The errant rail car began rolling on its own down the slope towards the river. It soon was barreling down the escarpment and racing towards Viger train station. According to the Montreal Daily Witness, the first obstacle it met was the buffer. Built of steel and heavy timber, the buffer appeared to be strong enough to stop it, but so great was the force with which the car traveled that steel and wood gave way before it. Jumping the metals, it forged its way across the concrete concourse, tearing up the stonework and flung its weight, amounting to many tons, against the railway gates and the stonework of the waiting room. As the rail car slammed into the waiting room, it tipped over, spewing thousands of gallons of coal tar. The force was so great that the tarry mess filled the waiting room and splattered all the way to the ceiling. 3 people were injured, one of them named Alfred Gattery seriously. He was taken to Notre Dame Hospital, covered in tar. In the next horrible episode, a major tragedy struck Place Viger in 1909 on New Year's Eve. That Friday night, hundreds were gathered on a railway platform to bid farewell to friends and relatives who were departing for Quebec City to see loved ones on New Year's Day. As the crowd waited for the train to depart, at 11:27 p.m., there was a massive explosion. In the fiery and apocalyptic scene, around 100 people were scattered into the air. They landed in a chaotic heap of broken bodies. Amidst the screaming, moans of pain, and children crying for their parents, railway officials ran over to try to help the victims of this explosion. The railway platform they had been standing on was split open almost its entire length, revealing a burst pipe that was carrying pinch gas, which was used to light railway carriages at the time. For over an hour, ambulances worked tirelessly to transport the injured to the various hospitals around the city. Many had broken bones and were in a state of nervous shock. The youngest victims were 15-year-old M. Dieudonné Paquin and his 14-year-old brother William. The eldest's body was twisted and mangled. Medics rushed him to Montreal General Hospital in critical condition, his fate uncertain. William, however, did not survive. Another victim, Mademoiselle Patrick Guy, 28, died of her injuries shortly after the explosion at the Royal Victoria Hospital. Other deaths were to follow. Captain Bellefleur of the municipal police force was on the station platform when the explosion occurred. He recalled that he couldn't define the feeling of the blast and wondered if he was still alive. "I'm not usually afraid," he said, "and yet I must confess that fear kept me immobile for some time." Bellefleur's colleague, Captain Bourgeois, had a very eerie memory. He recalled that 9 years earlier, on the same date and at the exact same time, a Canadian Pacific train had beheaded a man just a few feet from where the explosion occurred. Captain Bourgeois, who was on duty at Viger Station that night, picked up the victim's head himself. It was found nearly 2 feet from the tracks. That death was mysterious, according to the captain, who said, "We never knew if it was on purpose or an accident." Early Saturday morning, an inquiry was held by Mr. McNichol, Vice President of Canadian Pacific. Experts made a meticulous examination of the gas pipe that had exploded and concluded that the break was caused by cold temperatures. The gas was brought from a main tank through a half-inch underground pipe below the platform. The pressure was approximately 150 pounds per square inch. The experts theorized that the gas had leaked through the damaged pipe, essentially filling up the underside of the platform. That evening, a thick layer of ice had covered the platform, ensuring that the gas was unable to dissipate. While the ultimate cause of what ignited the gas remains unknown to this day, authorities at the time speculated that it may have been caused by a lit cigar that someone had carelessly tossed onto the platform. Today, the Place Viger is bustling with activity and construction as it continues its transformation into a mixed-use urban campus. It will include office space, apartments, restaurants, a large interior courtyard, and a Hyatt-centric boutique hotel. Corporate clients include Lightspeed and Novartis Pharma Canada. There's also the Espace Gare Viger, a magnificent reception venue which is available for rent within the complex. There are many questions about the hauntings at Place Viger. What causes the disembodied screaming of children for their parents? Are there any other ghosts? Will the newly constructed buildings also experience paranormal activity? The most common theory, of course, about the crying children dates back to the devastating 1909 gas explosion. With over 100 people scattered across the platform, children screamed for their parents. Having lost his life in the explosion, William Pequin's spirit may still linger, crying out for his brother. Others aboard the train may have also lost parents that day. Tragic events can lead to residual hauntings, and it appears that the gas explosion may have created one. It is also undeniably strange that architect Bruce Price's other castle-like hotels are haunted. The Chateau Frontenac in Quebec City features a mysterious lady in white, whereas the Banff Spring Hotels has at least 4 ghosts. These include a bellhop, a bartender, a headless bagpiper, and a ghostly bride. The unfortunate bride perished on her wedding day when her dress caught fire from a poorly placed candle on a spiral staircase. She is so popular that the Canada Post featured her on a stamp in the Haunted Canada series, which ran from 2014 to 2016. Concluding with Place Viger, it is unknown at this time if there are any other hauntings in the revitalized urban campus. Given the tragic history, it is entirely possible that other spirits are lurking about. Only time and more investigation will tell. I think this is a great one to end the month on. How about you? If you've walked by or through Place Viger, it really is such an impressive, grand building. It's easy to let the imagination wander to its history and hauntings. So if you had not looked into it before, I hope that this has added another layer of interest to your walks through downtown Montreal. A quick update to let you know that Dr. Mab and I are finished attending tours for this year. Thank you so much to everyone who came out and said hi. It was really fun to meet you all in person. We are going to be doing a post-mortem in the months ahead and making plans for the new year and are really excited about it. And, side note, in case you were wondering why we take November off, that's because on top of the spookiness, Dr. Mab and I are both writers. So we like to focus on that during this month of the year before December holidays start kicking off. I won't get too deep into this, but if you are also a writer, I have recently stepped down as NaNoWriMo ML for the Montreal area and am running my own writing challenge through the month called The Order of the Written Word. So if you're curious about that, I'll post it in the video description. Are you a Montreal resident or perhaps a tourist who has had a strange experience at Place Viger? If so, we'd love to know. As always, we want to hear your theories about what could be going on. Thank you so much for stopping by. If it's your first video, we do hope you'll stick around for the next one. We post videos in both French and English every second Saturday, except in November. If you'd like to learn more about the organization founded by the talented Donovan King, it's all listed in the description down below, along with links to purchase tickets to in-person haunted storytelling tours. And while our larger tour season has ended, the pub crawl is still going strong year-round. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'll have a new video out in December, but until then, we'll miss you, and please do stay spooky.